You know the shade from the crystal in the trial. The name the world couldn't stop saying, this is earlier. Before the thief, before the CEO, before anyone had a reason to invent her, Thalenealia loved its king and queen. The kind of crown a world wears in its bones. They walked on Taius soil for business, not for fear. Knives found them far from home, and Thalenealia mourned for decades. The children's songs skip this chapter. The fall before anyone had a name to curse. They crossed to Taius on the crown's affairs, a princess bloodline high and thin. Assassins found them when the lights went down. She watched her king and queen cut down. The nanny grabbed her hand and ran the rain. Starport glare still caught in her white hair. She learned how kingdoms end, not on a screen, but parents falling still and bare. Before the crystal, before the trial, before the world knew one name to curse, there was a fall that never made the file, and a gutter name they painted worse. Before the crystal, before the fame, the shade was born from blood and blame. They taught the room a simpler game. Her story isn't that simple, friend. The nanny didn't keep her, not from cruelty, from fear. They cornered her in alleys where the starport gutters shine. I won't tell you what the woman paid the man, only that the man ran orphanages, and the girl went in against her will. He gave her a street name that meant waste of time. A joke for Elvessari ears, not mercy. She was Elfari in an Elvessari world. 100 winters on the ledger, still a child's face in the dormitory row. The other girls grew old while she stood still. Time works different when the blood runs true. She watched them fall and didn't make a sound. The doc stories get the screaming wrong. It's the silence that will eat you. They locked the gates and called it charity. The headmaster smiled like coin was grace. She learned to count the bowls, the days, the teeth, and how to steal without a trace. No crown, no court, no mother in the hall, just iron beds and ration bread. The gutter name they hung upon the wall, the first disguise the living wore instead. Before the crystal, before the trial, before the world knew one name to curse, there was a fall that never made the file, and a gutter name they painted worse. Before the crystal, before the fame, the shade was born from blood and blame. They taught the room a simpler game. Her story isn't that simple, friend. There's a road legend, not in Leon's books, not in the trial, not in any file I trust, that once a dragon landed on the dust and spoke a name too old for orphan trust. I won't say who, the drunk who swears it blinks. Another voice, another sky, another time. Take it for what it's worth. She kept the fall like flint beneath her skin. Each alias a door she learned to pick. From gutter joke to legend locked within, the world would learn her trick by trick. Snow white hair, even then the travelers say, like winter lived inside a small rib cage. The princess died, the shade learned how to stay, and wear the names the ages would outgrow. Before the crystal, before the trial, before the world knew one name to curse, there was a fall that never made the file, and a gutter name they painted worse. Before the crystal, before the fame, the shade was born from blood and blame. They taught the room a simpler game. Her story isn't that simple, friend. That's the fall, not the crystal. Not yet. Not the parole you've heard about in taverns lately. Just a girl who lost her crown at someone else's door. They'll tell you she's a monster or a saint. I think she was a child who stopped being one too early. And I think her story still isn't that simple. Good night.